Hello again, everyone. Still Sunday, 31st, and this is the video for the update on the Mac 7. So, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, and Google. So before we get started, remember, this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. And if you're watching this on YouTube, remember you can always access the Patreon. The link is down below for $12.69 a month, and you get access to basically daily videos on a variety of instruments, the indices, as you can see, gold plus cryptos. Again, the indices, individual stocks in the US market, multiple names. Here was some new stocks that were brought out by a member, very interesting setups. We always look for what is looking interesting in the short term and sometimes long term. The Mac 7, you can see, they were updated last week. So if you enjoy my work and you want to see more, hope to see you there. Alright everyone, let's get down to business. So after the indices video, which I just posted, let's start with Apple. So with Apple, if you remember, we have two accounts. This is actually the alternative account, which is super bullish, which not a big fan of, but now that we're here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you remember, the 1, 2 here. We had wave 2 near the wave 4, 1 less degree, very common, blah, blah, blah. We went over that during the last video. And here are 1, 2. Now, I see two things happening. Either we double correct or we don't. Okay? If it's a 1, 2. Now, as I said, this is not my preferred count. Because if it is a 1, 2, then God only knows, I mean, the sky is the ceiling. The ceiling's the sky. So I struggle to believe that, especially looking at financials in Apple. Crazy overvalued company. So if you remember, this was my main count. A top in wave 3, primary wave 3, down in A, intermediate A, B, looking for another leg higher into wave C, of B, to then look for downside into wave 4. Now, ideally, in a world where I'm the best allocation in the universe, we top when the indices top. So when the indices make that, you know that wave 1 top from the April lows, remember, we top here. And if you think about it, it would all make sense. And you'll hear me say something very similar across all different stocks in today's video. So hope that makes sense. Trading wise, setups, I mean, we stand at 230, so the next logical level would be Texas support on top of 230 to then look for 250, which would be medium level. Yep, it's between 2 and 3 that are major levels. So this wave 4 could still be in completion. So, and if we zoom in and look at this, I mean, you can look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we may not, it's not the easiest setup, let's say that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's not looking that, I mean, it still looks like it wants to go higher, but I think we need Tesla support on top of 230. That's something larger to happen. So not really looking great as of right now, at least the way I see it. Next one will be Microsoft. Last update, we were here and we were looking for a wave 4, which eventually came, and we got also the wave 5. So as of right now, we could count it as 3 way down. And if you remember, clearly, what would have been the number to look out for? 500. Look at where we bounced off from 500. So we thank Pete for that. So far, proportions are still looking nice. As a matter of fact, I think we are at equality. Oh, look at that. We stand at equality of 4 against 2. It's almost a textbook move. And to be fair, so we bounce off equality, which is not a classic trend level pattern, because just a refresher. Let's say we have, okay, let's just draw 500 here. a classic trimming level pattern on top of 500 would be something like this. We come from below, we break through 500, or we touch 500, pull back, go back at it, retest it on it, and start doing this. Okay. Here we come from above 500, so it's not a classic trimming level pattern. I think it's our type of pattern Pete studied. I don't remember the name, to be honest. But we are starting to reject. Sorry, 500 is a bit below here. It's looking interesting, I say. Let's look at volume on the daily. I mean, we did have increasing volume on that turn here, which is very interesting. It could signify something. Now, as usual, the problem with corrections is you never know which one you're going to get until you get it. So what I mean by that is we could double correct. So safest would be wait at least towards, I mean, the real safest would be 550. Something on top of 550. It's not an easy one, I'll tell you that, because now it's very early. Now the only, let's say, what you could aim at with some degree of confidence that you got one leg higher. Let's not call it wave, let's call it one leg. You got a pullback, you can look for another leg. The problem is you don't know how long it's going to be. You can aim at equality. 520 would be a very nice number to get a resistance from because of the implication of twos. Pete taught me that when the market fails, many times it fails at 2. I mean by the number 2. So that's what you could do, very short term. Obviously, it's up to you. I'm not the financial advisor here. I'm just telling you what I know. But that's the way things are looking. Very promising for Microsoft. All right. As usual, if you have any question, guys, let me know in the comments or in the chat on Patreon. Here, Amazon, very similar story. And again, looking for, I mean, if the bottom, as a matter of fact, could be in place. If we're looking for upside, we're looking for the upside, and ideally we top when we top with the indices, right? I mean, the stocks will top and the indices will follow. That's the way it works. Amazon, the bottom could be in place here with a flat 4 for those of the geeks of Elliott Wave. This would be a running flat, and it's very similar to the indices here. We could be looking at this, or we could be looking at maybe a triangle into a 4. Some more confirmation would come just like with the indices on top of this, which would be on top of 230. So here it's a bit better than the other two setups, so than Apple and Microsoft, the way I look at it, because we want to see this, we want to see tested support on top of 230, which is the end of my group 1, 21, 22, 23, so 210, 20, and 22 to 30, and then aim towards 250, which is medium level, right? So this is so as of right now, it's the best setup, at least the way I see it. Then maybe the market proves me wrong, but if it is a 1-2, I want to see this, and things get interesting. Meta, so if you remember last week with Meta, I was extremely confused, pretty much almost as confused as I get with the ladies. So I thought, well, Barrett, 1-2, what if it's a 3-4? Given the fact wave 1 were extended, what if it's 3, 4, and 5 we topped? Because the way things are looking, we need to continue lower. This is 3 up, 3 ways to trend on make. Now we could still do this, but then eventually I want to see another low. That's what the market is telling me, the way I see it, using Elliott Wave. Again, 3 ways to trend on make. Remember that. So I think this makes sense. At least, I mean, it's the only count that makes sense to me as of right now. And we could easily go back down here for wave 2. So you could say meta is a bit different to the indices as of right now, but it is what it is, isn't it? So yeah, no real setups here because you could get this and then continue lower, but overall I'm looking for downside if that's the direction I'm leaning towards to. So now here with Tesla, if you remember, we're looking at a potential break of a triangle here in wave B and looking for further upside. Now, if we focus on a short term, we're looking for this potential 1-2. Now, this wave 2 has gotten a bit too deep for my taste. So it could be a flat 2 here. So basically what I mean is we can move wave 2 here. It's a possibility. Because you can make the count fit if you play around a bit. So that's a possibility. So really there's no big setup. The setup would come once and if we get to 350. And I want to see how we get to 350. So as of right now, still a bit into the unknown. Nvidia, so we moved as expected. Now the problem is it going to behave like we're expecting the others to behave? So 1, 2 into 5, or was wave 5 here, given the fact it's taken the top out, and now we're doomed. So one thing Pete taught me, which Dow said it, Charles Dow. What do people call these two in the regular technical analysis? So you open any TA book, first week you read a TA book, probably even first chapter. You see this, they're called double tops. Now Pete, because Dow says it, I'll just go straight to the point. Double tops are never the end of a trend. So with that in mind, it's most likely that either it's a 1-2 upside or we are into a flat 4 and then eventually we continue higher. But the scenario where it is a wave 5 completed here, yeah, if Dow says it's not it, it's not it. So again, setups 180, which is I want to see us clustering along a pattern top of 180, which is the end of my group 2. And then clearly the target would be at least 200, which is a major level. Google keeps amazing me, which is good because, as I mentioned, I did buy it at 156 many months ago when the blood was in the street for Google. So if you remember, I have two main counts. One is a 1-2, 1-2. One is slightly different, but still very bullish. 1-2 upside. Now, looking at it, I thought, what if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, for wave 1, but that would be extremely bullish because it would be this wave 1 and this wave 2 in place here to then go into this wave 3 of this wave 3 of this wave 3. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but this would mean Google would just turn into the next NVIDIA, which fundamentally wise, so financials are great in Google. If you think about the company itself, it's been lagging behind when it comes to AI, right? It's now improving. It's not really out of the equation, but maybe it's a bit too much. Anyways, that being said, what could happen is a 1-2 looking for upside in wave 3. Equality of 3 against 1 stands at 216. So we could get there. Ideally, we get towards 220 as we found Tesla support, as you can see here, on top of 21. So the bottom of money group 1, now we're going for 220. And as I said 5 minutes ago, because Pete told me and taught me, if the market fails, it's going to fail at T20. All right. And by that, I mean it's going to top in wave 3. That was the last one. Yes. All right. Any questions, you guys let me know in the comments or in the chat. If you want to join the Patreon, we welcome you. We're looking forward to it. And what can I say? Have a great Sunday, everyone. I will see you soon.